Good evening, everybody. This is the Dread Pirate. Once again, from an undisclosed location far out at sea. So what I want to talk about today is the Stephen Colbert sketch. And I don't know, this is kind of one of those things where it's similar to my feelings on Kevin Smith. It's a little sadder. I mean, in the case of Kevin Smith is definitely a shill for corporations and whatnot, shill for Star Wars. But at least Kevin Smith has never openly attacked his fans, or at least accused them, or at the very least accused them of being a sexist. I think I want to say one of Smith's problems is he doesn't seem to be able to take criticism too well. So he'll get into these little freaking he used to get into these arguments with people on about the quality of his films back in the day, and that's when his films were good. That was back during the Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob era. And for all I know, someone feel free to correct me on this. Maybe he's being a little bitch about people not liking Tusk. I don't know. But I mean, he's never really come out and attacked a fan base before. Stephen Colbert has, and a lot of people have already been quick to respond to Stephen and call him out for being a shill and whatnot. And the problem with now, my perspective is it's kind of sad for me. My perspective is probably a little bit different than everybody else's, but what it boils down to is, yeah, I'm a Democrat. So that's why for me this kind of whole far left agenda we're seeing in the media a lot is more infuriating, because this is supposed to be my team. This is supposed to be my party. I should be, and I again, we live in an era of tribalism where that's all people seem to care about. Like you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, and to quote Chris Rock, it's like everybody got a fucking gang mentality, and it's a bunch of bullshit. And that's how I feel. And it's and what it boils down to is, it's like, I mean, I'm a big fan of Stephen Colbert's. I'm a big fan of I've been a big fan of his work since he was on the Daily Show. I followed him to the Colbert Report, to the Late Show. I loved him on Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. I've actually been watching a lot of Harvey Birdman lately. I love Stephen. I think Stephen's a cool guy. And yet here we are. What you got to understand about Stephen is, the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, I'm disappointed, but I am not surprised, because what you have to know about Stephen Colbert is Stephen Colbert is, yeah, he's definitely a liberal, if obviously, given his quality of his output, but at the same time he's also he's kind of an ultra liberal, and he's always he criticizes Trump all the time, which for those of you who are Trump supporters might annoy you, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that because I don't like Trump either. I don't like Trump, so I don't necessarily mind that. But he is one of those people that tends to not discriminate, and basically has clearly chosen his tribe, so to speak. And I feel that this is one thing that kind of distresses me in general. And back to Chris Rock, I feel like we're living in an era, and I say that, and of course that's assuming that this stuff is brand fucking new and the world's never dealt with this before. Bullshit. Humankind has made these stupid mistakes over and over again, and will continue to do so. But for lack of a better term, we're living in an era where everybody got to be part of a gang, everybody got to be a Republican, everybody got to be a Democrat, everybody got to. You got people out there who will go to their camp and will stay in it, and they don't want to hear. You got Trump supporters who don't want to hear shit that the liberals got to say. You got liberals that you don't want to hear shit that the Trump supporters want to say. You got, and if you're in the middle, well, you're as good as the enemy. And that's what it boils down to. It's like, if you express, if you say you don't like something that Trump did, oh, well, then you're a fucking cuck. If you say something that you disagree with something that Hillary did, it's like, oh, well, you're a racist and a Nazi, or this, that, and the other. It's like, and the thing is, they both sound the same. They both use the same fucking tactics. And again, my thing has always been, I am against extremism. And that's why I don't care for the tribalism. I've got people in my family that vote Republican. I've got a lot of good friends who I've met who are Republicans. I feel like if you get to the point where you're at war with people for their ideology, you've lost the mission, bro. You've missed the point. But what's sad is that, you have a lot, again, I feel like, I was expressing this to a friend, that I feel like I'm an idolater. I was raised Catholic, so let's go. Let's go confession time. I feel like I'm an idolater. I watch people in the media that I like, and they impress me, and of course they turn right around and realize it's like, oh, this is why you shouldn't be admiring this person. They disappoint me, and Steven's one of those people. Steven, I don't think he's a bad person, but he's an ultra liberal, and he's one of those people that doesn't seem like he's discriminating one way or another. I think one of the other problems we're dealing with right now, and one thing that I've heard a lot of people better at this than I am expressing this, people like world-class bullshitters and whatnot, is that we're living in an era where you can't really trust anybody anymore. Everybody's paid for. Everybody's like, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith's a shill for Disney and Warner Brothers. John Campea is a shill for Disney as well. You're not allowed to have an opinion anymore. You're not allowed to have an opinion if it goes against the company line. It's not just in Hollywood. It's not just what we're seeing with Star Wars and with Disney. It's also just in business. It's like if you say something that would embarrass the company, you're in trouble. I just got out of the Navy. That's my unsubtle online moniker of Dread Pirate. And yeah, the Navy is super scared about anything that would embarrass the Navy or embarrass the military. And it's just, it's kind of, what happened to true justice in the American way? What happened to this being the greatest country in the world? What happened to freedom of expression? What happened to that? I'm not saying say fire in a crowded building. I'm not advocating people being allowed to say they can shoot the president. I'm not saying that, but I mean the basic freedoms we have to express our opinion and express how we feel about things, that should be something we're allowed to do. But back to Stephen, I'm rambling. Stephen you got to remember about Stephen Colbert is that this is a person who does identify as a feminist. And this is also a person who is friends with Anita Sarkeesian and has had her come on his show multiple times. So, and one thing I notice about him, and I notice a lot about like a lot of male feminists or people that identify as feminists that just kind of go along with it, is they don't really pay attention to what the issue is. They just kind of take people's word for it. They kind of just, like Anita Sarkeesian says, oh, I was attacked. I had people, threatening me. It's like, people sexually harassed me. Gamers harassed me. And people like Stephen Colbert, he's not reading what she did. He's not examining it. He's not looking at the other side. He's just taking her word for it. He's just believing what this woman says and goes right along with it. Oh, obviously she's a wonderful person and she's right and this is terrible that this happened. That's what a lot of people do. A lot of people don't bother to actually examine the facts of what's going on. So this is a guy, I feel like that's what's going on here. I feel like basically people are not liking Star Wars. And the thing is, though, I don't think it's just a corporate thing. It could be. It could be just he's being paid. He's being paid to say this bullshit. But it's like, I feel like in his case, no, he believes, Stephen Colbert is a man that believes his bullshit. I may be mistaken on this, but this is what I sense. So when he's making these skits and treating us all like straw men and that we're all sexist, angry nerds, he's not really examining the issue. And what it boils down to is I'm not surprised by what he's doing here, but I am disappointed, and I think it's unfortunate. I think he's being he's not, he's a satirist who I grew up on basically during the Bush administration, and along with him and Jon Stewart, I felt like they were speaking to me. They were expressing they were expressing my concerns about where the country was going, and I felt like I definitely disagree with George W. Bush's administration, and I was very much against it. And I felt like he was one of the voices that supported me during that time. And I feel like now he's, but one thing I always liked about The Daily Show, and one thing I always liked about Jon Stewart, is that he'll readily make fun of the other side. And Jon Stewart will criticize the other side. Jon Stewart, if you haven't seen that interview he did, where he talks about the more recent election, he talks about both Trump, but he also talks about Hillary. Talks about how Hillary is a woman who is a very smart woman in spite of her convictions, and she doesn't even know what those convictions are. She's a very smart woman in spite of her lack of conviction, and he doesn't know what her convictions are. And his commentary on everything that's wrong with Hillary Clinton, I thought was very poignant and very perfect. It was it was like he wouldn't hesitate to make fun of the other side, although it's very clear that he had his own political leanings. And I don't feel like Stephen Colbert is capable of doing that anymore. And I mean, we'll have to see, but it feels like he's just jumping on the bandwagon with all the other shills and basically trying to make us out to be sexist. And to that, I mean, and he'll probably never watch this, but if he does, it's like, Steven, listen, I'm not sexist. I'm not a racist. I'm a huge fan of yours. All I have to ask you, Steven, is, did you like The Last Jedi? Did you like Rose Tico? Did you like Haldo? What did you think about your idol Luke Skywalker swilling like freaking green alien milk? Did you like that? Did you like the fact that Luke Skywalker became a child murderer? Did you like that boring ass chase? Did you objectively enjoy this film? Because I sure as hell didn't, and if you did, okay, man, you have a right to your opinion, but I'm going to start wondering about your taste in films, sir. That's what it boils down to. We're not sexist or racist. We don't like this film. We don't like what Disney's doing. We're not okay with it. And if you have any credibility anymore as a comedian and as a satirist, you would recognize that, you know, the people that are making these comments, that are talking about this, are not trying to attack Kelly Marie Tran. They're not trying to, they don't hate women. They hate what's being done to a franchise of theirs. You would examine it for what it is. But it seems like to me, you've just lost all integrity as a comedian. And so at the end of the day, what can I say? You've made me sad. You disappoint me. You're a person that I may not be able to, I guess I can't trust you anymore, Steven. I guess if I want to watch, if I want to watch someone who will logically and rationally trash Trump, but at the same time will be reasonable, I'll go check out whatever Jon Stewart's doing whenever he feels like talking about something. I guess I'll check out Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I guess I won't be watching The Late Show anymore. But, I don't know. Steven, I hope you come around eventually and realize that people like Anita Sarkeesian, a lot of these ultra-feminists, they don't have your best interest at heart, and they will turn on you in an instant. And, again, we're not talking about, like, it's not a matter of lacking respect for women. I respect women. I know you respect women. Most of the people that you're trashing right now, they do respect women. And there are plenty of women in the movement we've got right now who are not okay with the direction Star Wars is going in. And it would be nice if you would come to realize that. But, I won't hold my breath. I won't hold my breath if you continue to be a shill. I hope you come around someday. It'd be nice to hear an apology in maybe 10 years. But again, I won't hold my breath. So, I'm rambling once again. Anyway, hope you like the image, guys. I was desperate scrambling around for some pirate content to put on here since I couldn't put my face on today. Yeah, some of you who are my role-playing fans will probably may recognize where this image comes from. Yeah, that is definitely a 50 Fathom Savage World thing. We might be doing a Savage World game coming up. Basically, Auxentius was really just discovered it, and Malmoto's already knows about it and says it's pretty awesome. They showed me some stuff, so we may have some Savage Worlds games coming out because it's something we're kind of interested in trying. We'll see. We're still talking about things. We're really focused on Dents right now, and I'm kind of itching to finish my game. But anyway, so that's all I got for now. Stephen Colbert his actions are disappointing, but they're not a surprise. So this is the Dread Pirate saying, "Avast ye, matey." I don't know. I'm running out of pirate puns. Farewell. Have a great day, people. Talk to you later.